unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time.
You know what your problem is? Do you know? Your problem is that you are mentally ill. That's right. You suffer from mental illness. I know you do. I can tell. Because you don't think the way you're supposed to think. You need to have a different opinion. Your opinion needs to match the ideal opinion, the correct opinion. If your opinion is not the correct opinion, then you have a mental illness. It's a mental disorder. Oh, you don't like my podcast? Wow, you're mentally ill. That's right. Oh, you think I'm boring? ADD. You've got attention deficit. Hey, listen to me. What I'm saying here is important. Your attention deficit disorder is getting in the way of me making my opinion the most popular opinion. Don't fall asleep. Listen, you've got a sleeping disorder. That nap you're trying to take, that's a sleeping disorder. You need to wake up at 7:30 a.m. and you need to be at work on time by 8. That is mental health. You can did you hear that? That was my stomach. That's a stomach disorder. Your stomach shouldn't make noises. When it's healthy, it doesn't make noises. You don't like what the government says? Well, that's a mental disorder. Can't pay attention? Mental disorder. Oh, you're feeling bad? Mental disorder. You're mentally ill. You need to conform to the ideal health, mental health, all that mystery in your mind. It needs to appear to be correct from the outside, from somebody else's perspective. A mental health expert needs to deem you mentally fit, meaning you need to be able to answer a bunch of questions the way they want you to answer them so they can give you your certificate to be mentally fit, mentally healthy. Who is mentally healthy? Who are the mentally fit? Are they the people that are working in cubicles, conforming, winning certificates and ribbons and trophies for their mental acumen? Well, I'm mentally fit. Look. Here's a picture of me shaking hands with a professor. You know, I'm mentally fit. Mental health, that's me. I'm the standard. I wake up on time. I listen to my teachers. I repeat what they say to others. I defend them. I make sure not to upset the balance. You've got to keep the balance in favor of the mentally fit. And if you don't, well, You're mentally ill. Isn't it interesting? Mental illness, it seems like you name a human trait, and there is a large group of people out there calling it mental illness. Right? You're not happy. You're mentally ill. Woke up depressed? Well, you're mentally ill. Oh, you're too happy. Oh, you're bipolar. Mentally ill. Listen, you just can't be that happy and that sad. You're supposed to be even keeled. You're not supposed to have emotional swings. Like, why are you laughing? I saw you crying yesterday. What's the deal? You need to get constant. We need to see less emotion out of you. Oh, wait, you laughed at a funeral? Oh, well, mentally ill. Oh, you cried at a comedy show? Mentally ill. Your reactions need to match my expectations. Mine. I'm a mental health expert. I know what's ideal. All I need to do to know what's ideal is compare what has happened against what I expected should happen. What I think should happen needs to match what actually happens, and if it doesn't, mental illness is afoot. It's true, mental illness is afoot. 5 toes. Mental illness has 5 toes and a heel, and sometimes can get corns. President Trump, he's in charge. He's mentally ill. Mentally ill. Michael Jackson, mentally ill. Kanye West, mentally ill. Eminem, mentally ill. You're really... Here's how you know you're mentally ill. You know for sure you're mentally ill if you don't really fit in to the stereotypical box. For example, if you're a black conservative, there is no way you are mentally healthy, because that goes outside of the expectation. There's no way. You're mentally ill. It's awfully fun to realize. It's very helpful to realize how much mental illness is out there. Oh, and just all the drugs you can take. Listen, sir, you have a sleeping disorder. You didn't go to bed on time, and you didn't wake up on time. You showed up to work late, and you're drowsy, and you're not paying attention to your boss, and you're not getting your work done. Take this drug, and it will block out all the other things that have captivated your interest. That's right. You've been thinking about the guitar you saw. Yeah, you've been thinking about playing that. Well, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be working. You have a pile of beans that needs counting. So count those beans. Stop thinking about your dreams. Stop thinking about that guitar. All right? And how you could be playing it. That is mental illness. Luckily, we've got drugs for that. Meth. Of course, we've repackaged it. We've taken the meth part off. We just amphetamine. Now, the meth, we chopped that front part with a little razor blade. We took it, sliced it, and scooted it over to the other side of the mirror. We're not giving you meth. We're just giving you amphetamine. And that gets you to focus on what we want you to focus on. Mentally fit. Mental fitness. Is there something, can you think of something that isn't, some human trait that isn't described as mental illness? First of all, let's just think about this. Mental. What is mental? What is it to be? What is mentality? Where is it? Where does it live? Oh, it lives inside of your brain. Huh? Yeah. And you know how you can tell if you're mentally fit? You can just open up this side of your brain. There's this little doorknob behind your ear. You can open it. You can look in. You can look around. There's nothing witch doctory about prescribing medication to inspire mental health, correct thinking. You're not thinking right. Man, it just, I'm being silly here, but it just blows my mind how many people are still, like, how things haven't changed. Witch doctory is in full effect. It never went anywhere. People used to talk about how, oh, remember back in the days they used to have medicine healers and witch doctors. Yeah, you think these things have changed? No, they haven't. The drugs they have, which one of them is that much better than drugs people found in plants and mushrooms and, weed and heroin and opiates? Like, there's so many plants you can pick off the vine, boil them down, cook them, and eat them to give you the same types of feelings at various doses as these drugs that they're pushing to combat your mental illness. And everybody's talking about it. It drives me crazy. I'm talking about it right now. Someone on the left sees somebody that doesn't agree with them, well, they're mentally ill. Same thing with the right. Mentally ill. Fact is all of these, let's talk about your expectations and our expectations, and who conforms to them and who doesn't. Let me tell you something. You should expect everything to happen. Anything that can happen might. I'm not saying it will, because there's time constraints. But yeah, everything that happens. So curb your expectations. That might help you figure out who's mentally fit or mentally ill. To me, if you ask, oh, did you ask me? You want to know what I think is not mental health? What is the antithesis? I think the antithesis of mental health is not being self-aware. Not understanding a simple concept like projection. If you can't understand, if you think you understand somebody else's mindset, or you understand exactly why they are doing what they're doing, or if you think that you can discern the totality of someone else's value in the universe, I'm not going to call you mentally ill. I'm just going to call you one of the billions of people who does not have any interest in logic or reason or repeatable facts or a repeatable process. You're just one of the millions and billions of magical creatures who doesn't consider much besides what happens in your own mind and your own expectations. But math is on your side. Even my definition fails. The fact, if you've got 100 people and 50% of them are as you describe, that's normal. It's not abnormal. It's not a disorder. It's not an illness. It's a feature, not a flaw. Right? Is every person big and strong? No. But not everybody needs to lift telephone poles. I don't know where I'm going with this. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that you're fine. You're mentally ill, sure, according to somebody else. But you've got to function. Whatever that mental illness is, that can be, it can be harnessed. You don't have to go to bed when they say you need to go to bed. You really don't. You don't have to accept that they call whatever feature of your life, when they call it mental illness, there's nothing requiring you to agree with them. You don't need to validate somebody else's diagnosis about the mystery of your mind and your experience. In fact, I suggest you take all of it with 1 grain of salt. And I don't even understand that saying. I just said it, but I don't understand it. What? Put 1 grain of salt on it? Like that's going to make a difference? Is that what they mean? Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I'd rather take it with a spoonful of sugar. That will help my drugs go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down like just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Sounds like the sugar lobby got in bed with the big Pharma. That's a pretty good marketing venture. Sugar guys, hey, I got an idea. Let's get together. You're saying no sugar makes kids hyperactive. This is great. I'll make them hyperactive. You give them a drug to get them concentrate. This is perfect. Give them sugar and amphetamines. Give them downers. Oh, get the heroin guy. That kid's too rambunctious. Squirt of heroin. Opiates, mental illness. Basically, you're fine. Are you listening to me? You're fine. And that person you're describing as mentally ill, they might be an idiot, but they're not mentally ill. They're probably just stupid. And when you accept somebody else's diagnosis of your mental health, if you accept it and you conform to their analysis, their expectations of how human beings should be, if you accept that diagnosis and that analysis, chances are you're not mentally ill, you're mentally deficient. You're stupid. You lack insight. You lack broad vision. Probably because you've been too busy doing things the way they want you to do things. And you haven't had the time to consider things in unexpected ways, in unacceptable ways, in disagreeable ways. How dare you disagree? You're mentally unfit. Lock them up. Throw them away. Until you can answer the questions correctly. It's all crazy, man. This is crazy shit. We're experiencing a crazy Crazy time, and it's because everybody's opinions are amplified. I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know, but the fact that every fucking dumb ass goddamn opinion gets amplified and needs to be validated by a tribe, this or that tribe, I think it's driving everybody insane, making everybody mentally ill. Navel gazing, narcissism, feedback loops. Yeah, I don't know. But then again, feature or flaw? Is it a feature of humanity or a flaw that can be fixed? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I'm very slow to diagnose. You're probably pretty good at diagnosing, though. Try it. Slow down. Think about the things you're doing in your life that are making you happy, that you enjoy. Call me crazy, but do more of that. Whatever makes you happy, like that guitar, for example. If you like playing that, play it more. Figure out how to play it more. What's making you feel bad or miserable in your life? Yeah, shocking information here. But do that less. It's that old joke. Doctor, it hurts when I move my arm like this. Stop moving your arm like that. Healing. Man, that's another part. It's like my friend's mother, when I was a kid, said something with a straight face, and she wasn't a funny woman. But she said to her son, who was my friend, she said, if you don't put any ointment on that pimple, it is going to take a week for it to go away. But if you put some ointment on it, it will go away in just 7 days. That's pretty much my analysis of the entirety of the psychoanalytical community, the shrinks and their organizations, and the DSMR or DMSR, what is it? Dance, Music, Sex, Romance, Prince. That book that Prince wrote about mental disorders. It's a scam. It's witch doctory. You can either accept it, you can either buy into the process and be a good little cog. Agreement. Well, I agree with what the leader said. You can do that. Or you can just go your own way. Like Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, that guy with the guitars, playing his guitar, and her flowing around with all her crazy witchy outfits. She's crazy. Mental disorder. Anyway, you're fine. Don't worry so much. Thanks for listening.